Hi everyone and welcome to episode 100 of the Talk is Cheap show. Yes people, we've reached that magic landmark, our 100th show. I just want to start by saying a big thanks to everybody that supported us on our journey, yeah? Really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. We're truly grateful. You know what? It's my pleasure, man. I've got such a great star-studded guest lined up today, man. It's absolutely unbelievable and I can't wait. But just a little history. Me and you, we first started talking about doing a show together back in 2019, I think it was, after an Arsenal game. Me and you got together, we were outside where Robbie was filming. We had a little chat and we put it in motion, and thanks to Robbie here, we got it going. So yeah, man, it's 2 years later. We've done some great shows, I think, and it's something to be proud of. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, thanks again for everybody for tapping it. But back to today's show. As you can see, we're live and direct in the AFTV studios. Salubrious surroundings as normal.
It's salubrious.
And as I said as well, we've got a star-studded guest on our show today. And I'm going to start by, to my left, joining me as usual, my co-host, resident expert, show analyst, social media content award winner, Mr. Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in-house. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, so exactly, bro. Robbie, I think you
Great
forgot.
intro.
Footballer as well, don't forget that.
Hold on, wait.
No.
Further to my left, what can I say about this man?
Oh,
The man who's made all of this possible. The founder and the brains behind AFTV.
Yeah.
The owner and founder of the biggest sports channel in the world.
Ooh.
You all know him as a mega YouTube and social media star, but I know him simply as my younger, less good-looking brother.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you live in the house, Mr. Robbie Lyle, aka Mr. Don Robbie. Mr. Robbie Lyle, aka Robbie AFTV.
I think you forgot about it, about Crucial Robbie as well.
I mean, disrespect, you know about it.
This show is very interesting.
Yeah. Wait for your
I'm waiting for your intro.
I know what's coming. I'm sure it's going to be
And
something.
to my right, last but certainly not least, a man who needs no introduction, the legendary Arsenal superfan. A man who is known for his Arsenal hat, even though he hasn't got it on today. He's known for his long Arsenal coat. He's known for his Arsenal headphones. He's known for the Arsenal water bottle. He's probably the most distinctive Arsenal fan anywhere in the world. A man who was a personal friend to the stars. Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big digital round of applause to the man known as Clock and Tie.
Wow. Thank you very much for that intro, Laurie. Congratulations.
No
Obviously,
problem,
congratulations
it's
to
a
you.
pleasure to have you.
And Curtis. And
all
obviously,
you guys
congratulations to Robbie as well, because, you know,
Curtis, man,
anything,
come on,
Robbie's-
man, dish out the drink, man.
anything that's good.
Yeah, man's supposed to
Robbie
tilt
will
the
be
glass
part
up.
of it.
See, I never worked in a bar.
But no, thank you very much for inviting
No
me.
problem at all, bro. Right, okay, then whilst Curtis is pouring out the champagne, we'll move on with the show. So those of you who watch the show regularly know that we start off the show by having what we call our news and notes, where we just reflect on certain stories that have been in the news over the past couple of days or since our last show. I'm going to keep it brief because we've got a lot to get through today. But I guess we should start with the obvious. Unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you will know that yesterday there was a World Cup qualifier. England were bidding to qualify for, I think, the 7th straight World Cup. A game against the mighty San Marino, which England duly won 10-0. The game was quite instrumental from an Arsenal perspective because we had 3 representatives, Aaron Ramsdale, Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka. 2-0, Emil Smith-Rowe got his first senior goal, international level.
Superb.
Saka got a goal, and
Yes.
I think Ramsdale made a very good save as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start with Curtis. Your thoughts on the game?
I mean, it wasn't much of a game, was it? But do you know what? If you're someone like Smith Rowe, that's a great game for you to play.
I don't drink, by the way.
I don't know, that's right.
I don't
Oh, of
drink.
course,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
But I will have some soft drink if it's available.
Yeah. Other drinks are available.
Yeah, absolutely, very good.
Yeah, he's empty glass for you.
There you go, look. You can do a cheers, right? You can do the
With
cheers.
what? With empty glass?
You've earned more than that over the years, but in terms of the Arsenal players, I think for like Smith Rowe, it's a great game for him because you knew it was going to be an opportunity for him to get a goal.
Yes.
I think he got an assist as well. He set up one of Kane's goals.
Yes.
He did,
Yeah.
So it was a great way to introduce him, and
Superb.
Ramsdale clean sheet. So it's nice for Arsenal because over the years, man, we've seen England games where we've got no players in the squad.
Yeah.
So to have 3 players in the starting 11, hopefully Ben White gets in the next squad. So
Should be in
positive for Arsenal, I thought.
Yep. Robbie, your thoughts on the game?
No, it's the same thing. I remember going to the World Cup in Russia, and there was no Arsenal players in the England squad because Danny Welbeck got injured just before he was going to be in it,
Danny.
and there was none. And I remember being in the stands and, obviously supporting England, but it was full of Tottenham players. You know what I mean? It was Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Dyer. I mean, it was like literally half the team were Tottenham players, and I remember thinking to myself, this is bad, man. That a big club like Arsenal, we haven't got no representation in the England team. You know what I mean? It's just not good enough. So to see now that, all of a sudden now, England fans yesterday singing Saka and Smith Rowe song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ramsdale, who I think has got a really good shout of, I know he's San Marino and that's why he got in. But Pickford, he will have Pickford under pressure this season. He definitely will. So Ramsdale's got a good shout, and like you said, Ben White.
Yeah.
That's another player that for me he should really have been there. If you really think about, I get Gareth Southgate keeping faith with guys like Tyrone Mings because he's helped them to, But right now on form and everything, you'd say that Ben White should be there, but he's still got time to make that squad for Qatar. So it's looking really good. You know what I mean? To go from 0 players in there to having players. Saka's like a fixture in that England squad now.
Yeah.
Remember the ages of these guys, man. They're like 20s.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got their whole, got massive England futures ahead of them. And I big up Gareth Southgate. Yeah, that's the one thing I've really liked about this guy since he's taken over, is that he gives young players a chance. From day one, he gave young players a chance.
Yeah.
He players that have played for him in the under 21s and all that. They've got their chance, and so it's great. It's great to see Arsenal players in there, and I don't know if San Marino I think AFTV FC could beat them. Or I definitely think AFTV FC could get him a game. Watching them. I ain't joking. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially
I'm serious.
talking of that San Marino, I mean, let's keep it 100, man. They are officially bottom of the FIFA rankings. They've only
It's a
won
tiny
one
country.
game in their entire history,
country, yeah.
which was against Liechtenstein in 2004.
Okay.
Although they did manage to score against England back in the day, I
Yeah.
think it was in 1993.
Yeah,
They drew in Nigeria in '85.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
When was that?
I'm only joking.
Yeah,
You see his face. You see his face.
I was going to start asking for evidence.
But like Robbie said, they are a very small country.
They are.
I think it's about 29,000. So
Yeah, it's tiny.
if we're putting that into proper perspective, you've got a small market town like Hitchin, which isn't too far from here actually.
Hitchin, yeah.
And I think they've got 30,000 people in Hitchin.
Wow. Which is even more.
So San Marino has got less population than Hitchin does, so it's not
Yeah.
surprising that they're not very... You did the live stream.
Yeah.
Just briefly. You did the live stream for the
Yeah.
Don Robbie channel.
I did, yeah.
So you saw the whole game. What was
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Well,
Keep it brief now.
I was just cussing Manchester United, so I couldn't tell you. I'm just joking. No. Yeah. I'll echo what Curtis and Robbie said. It was really, it was really
Easy work.
Yeah,
Easy work.
men against boys. But the fact that Bukayo and Emil both scored and Aaron kept a clean sheet is absolutely massive. Like Robbie said, it's been a while when we've had young players playing for England. And they're all English. Or English descent and all that. So it's amazing. It's really it's a fantastic boost for the club, and also props has to go out to Haaland. Because that academy has produced some incredible players, and I think they've forgotten about how good academy is. So, you know, and it also is, if you take away the England thing, it's also a fantastic benchmark for the young players now to look at what they can achieve, in the youth team and stay, instead of going elsewhere, you know, thinking that they can achieve that as well. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Thanks for that. And while we're on the World Cup and Arsenal, we should shout out Kieran Tierney because Scotland did well, didn't they?
Yes, and he had an assist.
They got through to the playoffs and they had a good win.
And they seeded as well now.
Yes, so, Okay, guys, thanks for that. Just briefly, I wanted to get your thoughts on the latest goings on in the Premier League managerial merry-go-round. Steve Gerrard, now appointed manager at Aston Villa. Ty, any thoughts on that? Keep it brief.
I think that if you're Liverpool, it's all going to plan, because that's what I think. From the outside looking in, I think that they're just getting ready for the Liverpool job. That's what I think. So, you know, and it's interesting what he's going to do at Aston Villa, because if he does anything good, then he's just upping his stakes for Liverpool. That's what I think.
So you're basically calling the appointment a hors d'oeuvre for the Liverpool. I'm not too sure if the Villa fans will be too pleased with you saying that.
Well, that's what I think. But obviously, he done a good job at Rangers. That's why he's got the Aston Villa job. But he's going to obviously have to perform at Aston Villa. And all that performing is Liverpool. When he's ready, Liverpool are just going to take him. You can see that. But obviously, he's got to perform. I am surprised, though, that Dean Smith did get sacked, though. I know he lost 5 games, but this manager has been in there for a while. You know, he's an Aston Villa supporter. I think.
I was going to ask you about Dean Smith in a minute. Robbie?
Oh, okay.
Gerrard to Liverpool?
Yeah. Gerrard to Liverpool?
Sorry, Gerrard to Villa.
Getting there ready.
I haven't even drunk anything yet. And I'm here, so.
It's an interesting appointment. I was chatting to a guy the other day at a gym, and he's like a Celtic fan. And he was like, Robbie, mate, he goes, what's he done? He goes, there's only 2 teams in Scotland. Now, I was trying to work out whether he's just being bitter, because he's a Celtic fan, and obviously Gerrard was at Rangers. He's done brilliantly at Rangers. What I respect about him is he's gone away and he's done his apprenticeship. Right now he's got a big job. Let's see what he can do. It's not an easy job.
No.
The expectations are high. You say Liverpool would be just waiting. That's if he does well.
That's what I'm saying.
But with the players that he's got there, right? I don't think he's gonna. I think the expectation's gonna be that he does well.
Yeah.
It's not a go in and survive job.
No.
That's you look at the players they've got.
Yeah.
Buendia, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins, Danny Ings, Bailey. These are players that could get in Arsenal's team. These are top players, man. At the top, Mings at the back, Konsa. It's a very, very good side. You know what I mean? Even guys like El Ghazi on the bench. So to me, it's a tough job. If he goes in and does brilliantly, then maybe, Liverpool would come knocking. But that job is not an easy job.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? It's not. You're going in at a club that have spent a lot of money and their expectations are very high. I feel that's why Dean Smith got the chop. And for me, you lose 5 games in a row, you're under pressure, man. And
while we're on Dean Smith, what do you think of the Norwich appointment?
That's again another strange. To me, it shows that there's not a lot of managers out there.
Yeah.
Right, because they got rid of Farke and then they brought in Dean Smith.
He fucked off.
He fucked off. It's a weird one. I guess
It's a weird one.
When you could kind of look on it, you could say if they did go down, Dean Smith has dealt with clubs he was at Brentford, innit? And with Villa in the Championship, so he knows how to deal with clubs in the Championship. That's the only way I can look at it.
Do you think that the sacking was a bit harsh and maybe Norwich saw an opportunity and thought, you know what, he's still a good manager, let's get him now?
Yeah, possibly. Listen, it's a bit of a gamble. It could work out. I still think Norwich are going to go down. But the real weird thing for me is that this season, how many teams have sacked their manager already? That's that's a quarter of the Premier League have already sacked their managers. A quarter.
Is that right?
That's like, you know what I mean? Nobody's messing around no more. And I kind of look at it and say, Mikel Arteta really, you know what I mean?
We spoke about his
lucky stars, haven't we?
But we say thank his lucky stars, but do you look on it now and say to yourself, with our boards, much criticised they were at the time, were they right to hold their nerve now?
Yeah.
Because if you see, a lot of these clubs, they're gambling now, innit? They're gambling, they say, right, we're going to chop, do it early before, still early in the season to recover. But they're all gambling, innit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Curtis,
you want to cook on that?
I mean,
First, the Gerrard to Villa, not Liverpool.
I think, like Robbie said, it is a bit of a gamble for him because it is a tough job.
It is.
And like you said, they're not expecting him to just keep them up in the league. I think they want to get in Europe if possible. I know a lot of Rangers fans are annoyed, you know, that he's walked out on them and this, that, the other. But I read that they've nearly trebled his wages. He'll have money to spend, and I do think that can bridge that gap. You know, because if he does do well there, I think he can get that Liverpool job, and his contract runs out at the same time Klopp's runs out, which, you know, so he's probably thinking 3.5 years, do well, go over there. So
doing it in the right way, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's done well. Like you said, he's gone to Rangers, won the league, come to Villa, and then hope. So you know what? I like Gerrard as a character, and I think it's good to see him back in the Premier League.
He looks like he suits management, doesn't he? He's like, there's something about him.
He's got certain
authority about him,
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that, guys. Last bit of news and notes before we move on to one of our more fulfilling regular sections. News that Eddie Nketiah wants out at Arsenal. Who shall I start with? Ty, keep it brief, though.
Well,
bro.
that's interesting. So what is he allegedly said then?
Well, there's news emerging that he said to Arsenal that he wants to leave. It's not official yet.
Well, listen.
But I just want to know your thoughts.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, I can't listen to rumours. I can't listen to rumours because if
the rumour's true,
if the rumour's
do you want him to stay, or do you think it's time for him to leave?
Ideally, I'd like him to stay, but I don't think he's going to play. So he needs game time. Maybe a loan, but he's tried a loan. Yeah, I can understand if he does want to leave. I can understand that. What I would say is, though, if he wants to leave, I wouldn't let him go until the end of the season, because he could be very crucial. Because you've seen how many goals he scored in the Carabao Cup.
Okay.
You know, but I can understand. Okay. If he does want to leave.
I think you made yourself clear. Curtis, my man, what are you saying about that?
I think with
Eddie Nketiah.
I mean, with Eddie, like you said, he's not getting regular game time. I think he's had quite a lot of opportunities under Arteta. I think he's got potential. There's definitely a goal scorer there, but I don't think at the moment with the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette. One thing I would say with Arsenal is why have they allowed him to go into the last year of his deal? You know, again, self-sustaining model. Why not sell him with a year to go, get some money for him and a sell-on clause? I mean, he's a free agent in the summer, so if you're Eddie, why would you even go in January anyway? You might as well wait till the end of the season, get a big signing on fee. So I think he needs to play regular football anyway.
He does.
So I kind of see it from his point of view of him moving on.
Robbie?
Well, I remember they tried to sell him. I mean, they tried to sell him in the summer. Palace wanted him, but Arsenal wanted too much money.
Yeah.
I think is what happened, and then they ended up getting Odsonne-Edouard instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, listen, if you're in Eddie's shoes, you want to play football, right? He's not getting any younger. He's got potential. I think, for instance, if Eddie's at Norwich, I could see him scoring goals at a team like that. You know what I mean? If Eddie's at Leeds, possibly I could see him scoring goals. You know what I mean? Maybe he wouldn't be the starter if Bamford's fit.
But he was at Leeds and didn't work
was
out
at
that
Leeds.
well for him.
I know a lot of the Leeds fans that when he came back, a lot of Leeds fans were moaning. They were saying that they should have given him more time. But no, they weren't. No,
that's a joke.
There's potential there. You know what? Sometimes you've got a player like that, right? Every time I see Eddie play for Arsenal, what I see is a player that's so desperate and eager to do well that he overcooks things sometimes. It's not like he's. And that's the player that needs to play every week. He probably play every week, and you see a better Eddie. But I just feel that when you see him play, he's desperate to score. He's desperate. Sometimes he'd be a bit greedy because he's trying to score. And I just feel that listen, if he was to move on, nobody could turn around and say, because he's been at Arsenal for a long time now, and he wants to play. He's at that age now. He wants to play week in, week out, and I think he's good enough. Maybe not to play week in, week out for Arsenal at this moment in time, but he's good enough to play week in, week out for certain teams in the division. So why not?
Why not? No,
there's teams abroad after him as well. There's teams in Germany and all that after him as well. So I think it would make it for Arsenal. It would make more. I hear what you're saying, Ty, but financially, it would make more sense to try and sell him in January.
Okay.
Right, because then like Curtis said, at the end of the season, he's on a free. He just walks away for nothing.
I think it's probably the best for all parties, isn't it? If he moves on,
Yeah.
if he can find himself a good club and kickstart his career in the Premier League, hopefully, then I think it'll be a good thing for him. But hey, okay. So thanks for that, guys. That was our news and notes section. Now we're moving on to one of our regular features. And as we know, the international break is now over. Thank God, a lot of people would say. Now it's back to the domestic scene. Back to our Ops of the Week. So this weekend, Arsenal, we travel north to Liverpool. It's not been a happy hunting ground for Arsenal in recent years. In fact, Liverpool have won their last 5 home Premier League games against Arsenal. And since Jurgen Klopp took over at Liverpool, I think we've won just 1 game against Liverpool in that time, out of 11. But, having said that, Arsenal currently on an excellent run of form, unbeaten in our last 8 Premier League games, stretching back to late August. And this will, I'm pretty confident in saying, will be our biggest test of that unbeaten run, I'm sure. So, the backdrop to this game is, can we go up to Liverpool, one of the so-called big boys? Well, not so-called, I think they are. One of the big boys, one of the heavy hitters, yeah? Can Arsenal go there and compete with a team that, let's be honest, have been beating us up regularly over the last few years? But before I get the panel's thoughts, I just thought I'd bring up some match receipts and receipts. First up, Liverpool. So far this season, Liverpool currently 4th in the table, 22 points. Played 11, won 6, drawn 4 and lost 1. Arsenal, we're actually just behind Liverpool in the table, 5th place. We've got 20 points. Played 11, won 6, drawn 1, lost 3. As I said earlier, we're on a good run, so we lost those 3 very early in the season, but we've bounced back very well. And in fact, if Arsenal do beat Liverpool this weekend, we'll actually go above Liverpool into the Champions League places. So there's a lot to play for this weekend. But I also have to caution that by saying that last season we played Liverpool twice and we lost both home and away. At home we lost 3-0, away we lost 3-1. So okay, now for the panel's input, who shall I go with first? Let's go with Robbie for this one, man. Give us your general assessment for the game.
It's a really, really difficult game. It's a game that says to me, it's a game for me that will mark, really kind of give me a sort of serious look at where Arsenal are. I sort of said that before the Leicester game. I was like, if we can go away at Leicester and get put a good performance in, and I would have took even a draw at Leicester, I was like, then I'll start to see progress with Arsenal. We went there, we were very impressive, 2-0, could have been more in the first half, and then in the second half, held on and defended really well. And I was like, that's so good. I like that, man. You know what I mean, I'm seeing progress here. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing with Mikel Arteta. This now is that next step up again now. It's the elite. Yeah. Now you're on the elite. These, man, they don't really lose at home, Anfield. No. I'm looking at this game 3 ways, right? I was chatting to a mate last night, I said this. 3 ways I'm looking at this game. 1, if we went up there and we got a victory, oh my God, I'm starting to look at this team and think, what can this team really do this season? Top 4 is a definite thing that we can achieve. If we go away and beat Liverpool at Anfield, this Arsenal team could achieve a top 4 this season if they're consistent, right? If they go up there and get a draw, I'm thinking this Arsenal team, top 4, top 6, definite. If they go up there and get that. If they go up there and don't get battered, this is the third one, don't get battered, because I think them last 5 games as well, Liverpool put 3 passes in every single one of those games at least. If they go up there, even if they lost, but put in a very good performance where, you know, it's one of them games where it's like, oh, if only this would have done that. Yeah. I'd still look on it as progress. I'd still look on it and say, you know what, all right, Liverpool, we know Liverpool are a level above us, but we went up there and that was a battle. Because let's have it right, the last times we've been Liverpool, I got there every year, I just see us get turned over. We get slapped up every year up there, and that's what I don't want to see happen. I want to see Arsenal go out there and put in a big performance this weekend. Could it be the right time to catch them? You know what I mean? I know they coming off a defeat to West Ham, but that was away. They drew with Brighton. Were they a bit complacent with Brighton? They ain't gonna be like that with us. Yeah. But this, to me, is another one of those turning point games for Arsenal.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Sorry to tell you, Laurie, right? Imagine the confidence of the Arsenal team if they could go out there and get a result. Imagine that they then go into other games after that thinking, we can beat Everton away, we can beat them, Man United away, we can beat them. The confidence it would give. So I think it's a really pivotal game, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Right, thanks for that. So, my man Curtis. So, at the moment, we're just general assessment. I'm going to ask for predictions and teams and formations a bit later, but general assessment of the game.
Do you know what? I think it's an opportunity for Arsenal because I look at most people think we're just going to go up there and lose the game. Yeah. Where I'd be looking at if I was Arteta saying, listen, we're not going to say this publicly, but they lost their last game, Liverpool. I think they got 1 or 2 injury problems. Mane was sent back from international duty. Robertson pulled his hamstring. Firmino apparently is out for a few weeks. Some people saying, it's bad they lost to West Ham because now they're going to be more fired up. But I'm looking at if we can go up there and frustrate them. A lot of the time we go there, we concede early, then we kind of cave in. I think we've got to go up there, make life difficult for them and just grow into the game. And I think, listen, I'm not saying we're favourites to win the game. Liverpool at Anfield are still the favourites. But I'm looking at it as we can go there and get something, even if it is a draw. And just show that we have made that progress because I think now we believe in that back 5, the back 4 and the goalkeeper, that they can keep clean sheets, make life difficult. So for me, I'm excited for the game, to be honest. Wow. I think if we'd have played them 2 months ago, I'd have been dreading it. You know what I mean? After that first 3 games. But now I'm thinking this is an opportunity to see where we really are. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, man.
Positive news. And dare I say it, these guys are looking at the glass half full.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
I hope it doesn't look like that.
Ty, give us your general assessment. I'm not asking for a prediction right now because we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. Your general outline, assessment of this game.
Well, it's quite interesting what Curtis and Robbie are saying because, like Curtis said rightly, if it was 3 games ago at the start of the season, would we be talking about that? And Robbie as well. Because they're talking differently. I'm sure, I think maybe I was the only one of the few who was still trying to look positive after 3 games when I think after Brentford, fans were saying they want Mikel out. On the first game, after the first game, I remember the fan cams outside Brentford were quite vociferous, to want to use a bigger word. But listen, I think Curtis...
See, sometimes delusion works.
I wouldn't know about that.
No, but carry on.
But I think they've assessed it well. I think what Robbie said is quite interesting as well. But he looks at it in 3 ways, and I think he summed it up quite nicely. Okay. It's true. If we get at least a point, then there's progress. Okay. And even if I'm not saying we're going to lose. I obviously think we can win. If we don't get battered, it's true. We have been battered. But then what I would say though is last season there wasn't any fans. But I also go back to Robbie made a good point about if this happened, that happened. I also go back to the game at Anfield. We were 1-0 up, and Mane elbowed Rob in the face, and he got nothing. Now I don't understand why they did not go to VAR because VAR was around that time. If Mane had got sent off and Liverpool are down to 10 men with 1-0 down. We're not losing that game. So it's
in the end, we ended up getting battered.
We did.
And that's the thing, what I'm saying, Ty, right, is that's been the thing. It's like every time we go up there, we get turned over, man. They just turn us over so easily. And I think, and our other test this season of another place where we get turned over easily was Man City. We did get turned over easily. I know there was players missing, COVID had ravaged the squad and all that, but we got... that was really bad, right? Yeah, that was. And I'm looking on it and I'm saying to myself now, go up there and give a good account of yourself, Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. Go and show everybody that this club is changed. We've all seen it, but we still need to go to them type of place there and prove it.
Yeah.
Right? The Leicester one was big. That was a big stepping stone, right? Massive. But can we go to Liverpool? To me, at the moment, they play the best football. Them and City in the league. When they're on it, Salah.
Yeah. I agree.
And we've been defending brilliantly. We ain't come up against guys like Salah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Watford didn't have a Salah in their team. You know what I mean? And
No.
you know, and I just want to see Arsenal just, they've been defending brilliantly. You know what I mean? With games last year, Jota winning, beating players for a header and all that.
Sterling
You know, you know what I mean? To all the, I mean, I know it's different when you've got Ben White and Gabriel, and let's hope that everyone just comes back fit.
Yeah,
Because we need a first team. We need our first team.
And we need our game. You said that we haven't come up against Salah, no, but we've come up against Vardy. And if I remember quite rightly,
true, we kept Vardy quiet.
If I call Ben and Gabriel now, not that I've got their numbers, I'm sure they might let him out of their pockets. So, you know.
I'm sure they want your number.
But
Jamie Carragher's got your number.
Salah's the most informed player in the world right now, and it's going to be tough to keep him quiet. And
it's going to be tough.
You know, I just want us to put in a performance, man. I don't want us to go into our shell. I want us to, like the way we played against Leicester. I enjoyed that so much, man.
Okay, Robbie, staying with you, I'm going to ask the other guys as well. Team lineup and formation. What would
The
you like to
lineup
see?
for me at the moment is quite simple. Is that if everybody's fit, right, it will be the same team as the last game, apart from I'd have Partey instead of Ainsley, although Ainsley done a great job when he was in there.
He did do a great job.
But I need that first team. Nuno Tavares would stay in for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Does he?
Yeah, Nuno Tavares would stay in. I know he's going to be up against Salah, but I think the interesting thing about Liverpool is that they really push up, right, on that side. So what if Tavares can take them back the other way as well? Counter-attack, you know what I mean? So I want the same team with Nuno Tavares. I want the same, and plus as well, Nuno Tavares wouldn't have had no international football, so he can be fresh, right? So I'd the same team, but with Partey in it. That's for me.
That's interesting that you would keep Tierney out for another game.
Yeah, listen, Tierney. I'm just going on the form of Nuno Tavares, who's been electric.
No.
I love Tierney, right? And the fact that he does get injuries and that, I mean, you can have him on the bench, and if you can bring him on, but I'd start Nuno. I think, and again, remember, as we're saying, Tierney, he's had 2 difficult games for Scotland. They weren't like the England games with San Marino. They're playing like tough. They had Denmark, and then they're playing. I think it's Moldova the other night. They were must-win games, and they, you know.
Well, some people might say that's prepared him for the challenge.
Maybe, but I still think Nuno Tavares, man. Let's go on the front foot a bit on that side. Let's see if maybe we can push them back a bit on that side, and you know.
What kind of formation would you like to see the manager use?
Same formation as we've been using against
going
Leicester.
A bit more 4-4-2-ish. I know he jiggles around.
Lacazette's got to start. Same team, man. Same team, because they drop into a very good defensive shape when they don't have the ball. And what I've liked about Arsenal is how hard they've worked when they haven't had the ball. That is one of the things over the years that have cost us when we go away from home. Is that when we ain't got the ball, we remember the Ozil days and that. Basically, we have the ball.
Light work to play.
And when you're playing against a team like Liverpool, if you're not doing the work, because you're going to have a lot of times you ain't got the ball. And if you ain't on it, man, they'll tear you to shreds.
I'll tell you what as well with Liverpool, and I don't want to digress, those first 15 minutes is when Liverpool really come at you. Especially.
But you know, the funny thing is, we've had times when we've got up, they've scored first. Couple times over them times when we've lost them, we've scored first. And then before the celebrations ain't even finished yet, and they come up the other end and they scored. That's what I'm saying. Disciplined performance and an organised performance and hard work, minimum. If you don't work hard against Liverpool, man, you get slapped up. Ask United. That's what. No, but that's what United did. They didn't. United a bit of a lazy team without the ball. And if you don't work against Liverpool,
they'll punish you, man.
They're just like it's like a storm.
Curtis,
ruthless,
Ruthless.
Team lineup and formation.
I mean, like Robbie said, I think this is a real positive for Arsenal now. I think good teams, you know what their team is. You know, over the years we've been like, oh, this player, that player. I feel like when I've looked at the Arsenal team over the past few years, there've always been 2 or 3 players I'm like, oh, I wish that guy wasn't in the team. I look at the 11 now and I think, I trust that whole 11. I like all of them. The back 4 picks itself, goalkeeper's on form. I mean, Partey missed both games for Ghana. So we just got to hope that he's available. I mean, I don't know if they've just held him back. I think Lacazette and Aubameyang as a 2 is just
100%.
far better. For a
Yeah.
long time, we've been saying those two should have played together. So,
Do you think he'll risk Partey though?
I mean, it depends.
Because if he didn't play for Ghana, then
I look at our midfield when he's
Yeah.
not in there. I think
It's a little light. It's a little light.
And
although-
Liverpool got power with Fabinho and people like that. So
Yeah.
I think even if he's 80-90%, you got to strap him up and get him out there, man. So
Although Ainsley played well.
he
you
did
know.
play
He did.
well.
But it is a different proposition, like
Yeah.
you said, yeah.
Yeah. So
the only thing you worry about Ainsley sometimes is he's got that lack of concentration going on sometimes, and he can get a bit indisciplined. But to be fair to him, he had an excellent game in his
He did.
last game. In fact, some people said he was man of the match.
Yeah.
Ty, team lineup and formation. Would you like to see any changes? If so, who? And with the formation, would you like to see him tinker with it, or are you happy with the way he's been playing recently?
I agree with Curtis and Robbie. I think I would keep with Nuno, but I'd have Kieran maybe to come on, maybe if we're lucky enough to be ahead for the last 15 minutes and try and run at whoever's on his side. It's Thomas. I think, like they're saying, Thomas is big. If Thomas plays, then I think we will have a good performance. I like Ainsley. Like you said, I don't know if it's lack of. I don't know. You said lack of concentration. I don't know if it's lack of concentration. I think it's lack of game time. Because lack of game time,
That's a good point.
your mind is not in the game. Whereas if you're playing all the time, your mind is straight in the game. So, but I think Thomas is crucial. I hope he can play. And yeah, like Robbie says, why don't we go for Liverpool as well? Why don't we go for them? Robbie makes another good point as well about Kieran. He's had 2 tough games. And the thing is, we know, unfortunately, he's been injury prone. So do we want to play him at Anfield? And God forbid, I'm not saying, he breaks down. Or are we going to leave him from the bench and maybe bring him on to come on afterwards? And I think Nuno deserves his place. I think, and like Curtis says, everybody deserves their place. And I think Mikel's trying to be adventurous. Like Curtis was saying, the front two of Alexander and Pierre are superb. The work that they're doing. And it's interesting because Alexander hasn't even been in the team so much. So the work, he'd be disappointed, but you can understand if he's lazy. He's putting in the work.
That's Alexander Lacazette, not Trent Alexander.
Yes, Alexander Lacazette, not Trent Alexander-Arnold. No disrespect to him, obviously. I think everything is fine at the moment. But like Robbie said, we must work, and we've been doing that brilliantly. I think against Leicester, I think when it all started, when we battered Tottenham. Oh, that's brilliant.
that's not a bad omen for Liverpool.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, Ty. You mentioned there Mikel Arteta. I was going to ask the guys a question. Let's start with Curtis. Tactically, how do you think Mikel measures up against Jurgen Klopp?
I mean, that's a tough question, but listen, he's improving a lot. I see a manager we said before he was learning on the job, and I think we're starting to see that he's learning lessons from the difficulties he's had in
absolutely,
the past. I think when you go to Liverpool, you can't really go there and go toe-to-toe with them. I think only really Man City can do that. Because they've got similar quality of players. So I think we've got to be disciplined. We're going to have to soak up a little bit of pressure and then probably hit them on the counter-attack. So like you said, they leave Salah and Mane very high. They push Robertson and Trent, and then they leave a lot of gaps down the side. So I think when we get our chances, we've got to...
He's saying, yeah. Oh, it's time. Carry on.
No, but I think, like I said, if we can frustrate them, don't concede early. Because, look, they have lost their last game. I'm sure Klopp's going to be frustrated. I think they drew their last home game as well to Brighton. 2-0 up. So they've had two results they will be disappointed with in their title challenge. So, like I said, keep them out. And then when we get our chance, try and take it. And
do you think he'll be brave enough to do that?
Well, I hope he does go with that same 4-4-2. I don't really want to see him change it and go maybe with an extra midfielder. I think go with what's been working. Give them something to worry about as well. So hopefully he does stick with that 4-4-2.
And Robbie, tactically, how do you think Mikel Arteta, who's done very well in recent games, but now he's going up against one of the so-called heavy hitters? Not that Brendan Rodgers isn't, but you know what I'm saying. We've not performed well at Liverpool in recent years.
Klopp's on another level to Brendan Rodgers.
Some would say so.
Yeah, not some would say so. He is.
He is.
He is.
Okay.
He's one of the best managers in the world football.
Right.
And we're up against them, and we know what their style is. At Anfield, they come. It don't matter who you are, they come. And yes, they have that defeat. Yes, they drew at Brighton, but then they were very impressive against Atletico, man. You know what I mean? In between that. So I think we've got to be a bit more conservative in our approach. We can't go gun-ho. We've tried that over the years. We've got smashed. We got to, just work our socks off when we don't have the ball. Play our game when we do have the ball. And, their defence can be got at, Liverpool. Their defence can be got. They've got a good defence, don't get me wrong. Van Dijk and Konate and these guys, they've got a good defence, but it's just the nature of how they play, they can concede. So if we get a chance, we have to take it, and then we got to defend really well. We've got to be disciplined, and we've got to work our socks off. There's going to be a lot of work off the ball, and we've got to be concentrated. As I said, some of the goals I've seen us concede with out jumping defenders and things like that. I can't see that this week. I don't want to see that. We lose if we're like that.
And Ty, tactically, how do you think it's going to play out? Does Mikel measure up to Jurgen Klopp?
Well, we like to say he can, but he can't. Like Curtis,
you like to say he can, but he can't. What?
No, I don't think he can measure because Klopp is one of the best. Just like Guardiola.
Yeah.
But I agree with what Curtis and Robbie are saying. Yeah, he's got to be more pragmatic. I think personally, the part of the team talk should be watching that game when Liverpool exploded Manchester United. I wish I'm not really a swear man. I wish I should say more. So I'll say it as calm as when Liverpool exploded all that. I don't know how I can say, West.
But the people want to know.
Just swear, man, we know.
The people want to know.
When they exploded, when they
just swear and we know.
We get you, Drew.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
When they exploded waste onto Manchester United's heads, that was absolutely superb. That is what we have to look at. And Mikel has to say, this is exactly everything you shouldn't do. We've got to look at that. That's got to be at the back of our minds. Like Robbie said, we can't go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. Because if we do, it's going to be like they did to Manchester United.
But that game, though, if you look at that game when United played Liverpool, their work rate was appalling, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's players like Bruno Fernandes and, we know Ronaldo don't do no work really apart from in the other box.
Yeah,
they would just
score.
They were just right. So basically, you had players walking around, and if you're up against Liverpool, man,
but you can't do that.
Yeah,
Brighton worked their socks off.
They did. But Robbie, what I would say, you're right. But then also in that game though, which was fascinating, is the fact that Bruno Fernandes had the first chance and he didn't take it. Now, that's happened to us before.
Yeah, that's true.
Because look what happened last season. Nicholas got behind Van Dijk, which was the first time in about, 50 matches that anyone's got past him, and he didn't finish. So, with that as well, we also have to look at any chance that we create for ourselves. We have to take. Because if Fernandes takes that chance, thank God he didn't, don't get me wrong, in football terms, it's a different game. If Nicholas scored last season, it's a different game. 2 seasons ago when we were allowed in. So that's what it would be. But
talking of taking opportunities, and we're digressing slightly, but I've got to ask this.
Yeah.
If we get a penalty, who takes it?
Oh, interesting.
I'm giving it to Laka. And I don't like to.
You've got an interesting stat. Tell your people the stat about Laka, man. Penalties.
Well, apparently he hasn't missed a penalty for Arsenal.
That doesn't surprise me.
To me,
when he was at Lyon as well, he never missed penalties.
40 out of 40. Well,
he takes it for me as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to take it off Abba, yeah?
If you miss one, I think, don't worry. You missed 2 in a row. It's not like he missed one, scored a few. He's missed 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Interesting, he scored for Gabon the other day from the penalty spot.
Okay.
And he put a tweet out saying, when you miss, this is how you bounce back. So I reckon Arteta will probably leave him with it.
Lacazette.
I would give it to Laka, but
takes penalties. He don't miss penalties.
He doesn't miss.
Lacazette takes it.
I think Arteta will leave him with it.
Who takes them for you, bro?
I think, if I'm honest, I like Alexander, but I think you'd have to stick with Pierre. Because you give him the confidence to say, listen, you've got another chance now. Can you?
Not when you've got another brilliant penalty taker.
No, you have.
You've just missed 2. No.
You have.
It doesn't matter how good you are at playing penalties. Sometimes when you on a little missing streak, look, you see thing the other night, and that cost Italy.
Jorginho.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden he's thinking about it too much. He's not even doing this skipping thing now, right? And that penalty really, when you check it, because they would have beaten Switzerland, they were qualified.
They would have qualified.
And now they're having to go through group, playoffs. Right, so to me, it don't matter how good you are. When you've a little bit of a missing streak, you've got another guy there who don't miss. Give it to him, man. Don't
you
take
know what?
no
It's
chance.
interesting because
That is interesting.
Don't take no chance.
for the most part, people,
Yes, fair
what
enough.
I've seen with these guys today has been a lot of consensus, and that Lacazette one and the penalty has kind of flipped it a little bit. I'm with you, bro. I'm sticking with Abba for the penalty. I think he's your main man, he's your talisman, he's the captain. Yes, 2, he's not done very well. I mean, let's face it, the first one he did score the rebound.
He did score the rebound.
But for me, I'd give him at least one more opportunity.
One more,
Why
yeah,
would
one-
you give
Why?
him one more?
Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Liverpool, the way you just said you get their one chance for a penalty.
No, I understand what you
Lacazette.
guys are saying, but I would just stick with him being that
I would
he's
as
the
well.
captain.
The talisman, yeah.
He's the talisman. I think to take it off him
Would
can
be a
send
bit-
out the wrong
yeah.
signal.
What?
Yes, absolutely.
Sends out the signal you
wanna
miss,
score it
you missed
this
the last
time,
two,
yeah.
and we want to score this
Yeah,
one.
but then if Lacazette misses, what do you take it off him
Which
and
you-
give
I
it to
know,
someone?
Yeah, that's
Then
a
maybe
different
we do.
question, but
But then also there is a theory though because when Alexander gets injured, he never takes penalties though. If he gets fouled for the penalty, he doesn't take it. So what happens then?
Henri used to do that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but what happens then if Alexander wins the penalty?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know,
So
who takes it then?
what if he gets injured, you mean?
No, he's not even injured. If he gets
if he gets fouled,
in the penalty,
lead-up,
he never takes it. He has a rule of never taking it.
Well,
Thierry
I don't
Henry
know
used to
about
do
that, but yeah, if it was just a regular penalty, I'm taking him off it. I think, like Robbie said, I've took penalties in the past as well. When you miss one, you start second guessing yourself a lot, and then to miss 2, and then like you said at Anfield, we ain't gonna have many chances.
No,
if you get a penalty, he's missed 2 in a row. I'm like, yo,
No.
give it to Lacazette. That man, I
Lacazette.
missed 1 penalty for us.
Yeah, man, when he was at Lyon, he didn't miss no penalties.
didn't,
At
no, he
Arsenal, you
didn't.
don't miss penalties. What?
He's
You know what I
gotta
mean?
take
You got
it.
him there.
But then that means,
Taking a chance.
but that does mean then. So is he taking over penalty injuries?
For now, yeah.
Oh yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no way of going back to Pierre then. Once if Alexander scores, there's no way.
But then
Pierre's
ain't
going
that
back.
great? Is that a problem?
If he scores
Well,
every
Why would
penalty,
that
we
be a
don't
problem?
mind.
If you said to Lacazette from now, you take every penalty,
Yeah.
he scores every one. Who cares?
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand.
All you want to know, right, is it goes in.
Yeah.
Even if Ramsdale takes it, I don't care. Whoever's guaranteed to
Aaron.
score that takes it.
Yeah.
End
Listen,
off.
the way Ramsdale's
He-
playing right now, I
probably
wouldn't put
would.
it past him to
Could
score.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to score last night for England, to be fair.
Well, he's the only one who didn't.
Yeah, I know, pretty much.
But anyway, listen, folks, we're going to bring it right round now. It's prediction time, and this is where I ask our guests, and Curtis will know full well because he's on the show all the time. You've got to give your honest opinion. I don't want no capping. I don't want you to just say Arsenal because it sounds good. And the other thing is, and Curtis will tell you this, when I ask him for a prediction, I don't just ask him for the prediction, I was asking why.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to let it slide, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So let's start with you, Ty.
I knew it's going to be me.
You first.
Well, I've already
I
said
want
it.
your prediction and why.
Well, I've already said it on the Buy show with the Don and White Yardie. I won't change. 2-0, and hopefully it's going to be a very difficult game for us and for Liverpool. But we have to try and replicate what we did against Leicester because I thought we were absolutely superb. I mean, like I said, when we, I was going on to the thing when we battered Tottenham and we beat Aston Villa, I was wondering, watching, can we keep up? We kept it up. So Mikel will say, listen, you have got the energy. You have. It's all about the focus. It's all about the focus. So that's what I'm thinking. We're going to have to catch them on a break. It's going to be harem scaring possibly, but we're going to hopefully catch them on a break. And hopefully, if we keep a clean sheet, then that's half of the battle, isn't it? If we're lucky enough to keep a clean sheet. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, but I'll still go with
2-0.
I'll go with 2-0. I'll even say one goal scorers.
Okay, yeah, go on. Go for it.
It's going to be Alexander and Pierre, the front two, working hard. The front two, score going hopefully
I hope you're
either
right.
half.
I
So
hope
do
you're
I.
right.
But that's my prediction.
Curtis, resident expert.
I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. Go for a 1-1 draw. I would love to go for a win. I think we can win the game, but a lot needs to click into place for us to win the game. I think Liverpool will have to be a little bit off it. We'll have to. First game after the international break, I'll go for a 1-1 draw. To be honest, I would take a point. I want us to win, but I would take a point.
No, that's right. That's sensible.
I think they'll be fired up for it, man. You know, Klopp's not gonna at Anfield as well. They just lost. I think they'll have a go at us. I think it's hard to keep a clean sheet there as well. I think I saw they haven't not scored for like 50-something games in the league at home. They score nearly every game, so I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
And Robbie?
I think I might go for a 1-1 draw as well. 1-1 or a 2-2. I've just got a funny feeling for Arsenal this week that they could get something out of this game. Liverpool are a better team than us. We have to admit they're levels. We're trying to get to that level, but I just think, are we catching them at the right time? Number one, they lost their last game. They drew the game previous, and then what I think might even be a bit more significant is that international break.
Yes.
I think if we'd have played them the week after,
they would have been crazy, innit?
Yeah, but I think you know, players like Salah have been away. A lot of their players have been away. They come back, they'll have to find their feet a little bit as well. I think that might go in our favour a bit. Maybe, well, I'm hoping that maybe they're not as intense as they normally are to begin with, maybe, and we could catch them a bit cold. You know what I mean? Because it's just when we got there, man, they're always on it.
Yeah.
That's what Klopp does. That's what I want to see Arteta get to that level where we're always on it. I've liked the last few games with Arteta where we've been on it from the start, bang, straight away.
Yeah.
Liverpool do that all the time. They're always on it. They're always like, so could it be though that international break might have helped? That little gap in between might have been a good thing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know? And there's a couple of injuries around Liverpool. Robertson, I know they still got, I think it's Tsimikas, he's still a good player, can come in. But there's a few little...
Well,
fingers crossed.
Everything's crossed.
We're all hoping.
Because that game is such a tough place to go to, man. It's such a tough place to go to.
Do you think it's the hardest game in the Prem?
I think, well, for us, it's there in City, isn't it? The two places we always go and get smashed up. Last season, Arteta had a good record away from home, but even then, we still went there. But
well, guys, that's interesting. So you've gone 2-0 to Arsenal, you've gone 1-1, you've gone 2-2, and I'm going to go with my brother. I'm going for the Desmond. What's that?
2-2.
Desmond 2-2, yeah. So yeah, I'm going for the Desmond. I'm going for the Desmond. And the reason is pretty much like what these guys are saying. I can see us doing well there, but Liverpool, they just come at you. They've got so much quality, and they've got guys like Salah, who's in great form. We've got guys in great form too. I mean, I fancy Smith Rowe to get one and Abba to get one.
Okay.
But I just think that the pressure Liverpool will put us under, I think we may, I wouldn't say crack, but you know what I'm saying.
And the other thing, you make a good point, like a guy like Smith Rowe, even though he's been away on international duty, it's a different energy.
Yeah.
Because he's been away on international duty and it's like added to all the highs that he's already achieved this season.
Yeah.
Him and Saka, it's added to it. So they're going to be coming back buzzing, whereas the Liverpool guys, that's their regular thing, you know what I mean? Trent and all those guys, So I just think that break might have helped us.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Listen, man, we're coming to the end of the show now, man, and you've heard the guys, they've gone through in detail what they think is going to happen.
Congratulations on the 100th show.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, let's do a little toast.
Big up.
Congratulations.
There's been a burning question since the start of this show when you invited me and Ty onto.
Okay.
Ty's been wondering if that cake is for real. Because he's so desperate to eat it.
That's, if you notice, we put it further away from him.
So it couldn't
It's a real cake.
Yeah,
it's a real cake.
It is.
So can I knock it then? It's a real cake. Can I knock it?
How much you want to bet me that's a real cake?
It's not a real cake.
Nah, how much you want to bet?
It's not a real cake.
It's a real cake.
Let's have a fiver on it.
Buy into
Let's have a
it.
fiver.
See what happens.
We can have a
Give me a fiver on it.
No, we can have a sportsman bet.
A sportsman's bet on it. Sportsman's bet on
You
it.
should know it's real
It's
cake,
not-
man, because
Whilst you guys,
not a
wait a
real
minute. Whilst you guys do that, let me go and get a knife. If a knife cuts into it, you know it's genuine. Round up the show, Laurie. Let me go see if I can get a knife.
Okay.
Here we go.
Listen, man, you should know it's real cake
We're
because
going to turn it with no props.
Yeah, me and Curtis, at the very basis of this show, we keep it real.
Come on, man.
So why would
Real
we come
cake.
on the show without a real cake?
But didn't you say something about you need to get something for the props on the show?
Yeah, props. But
Right,
it doesn't
here we
mean to
go.
say the cake is not real.
It's not a real cake.
The moment of truth.
I know it's not a real cake.
Ty, you can eat it if it's real.
It's not a real cake.
Okay, if it's real,
It's
right?
not a real
You can
cake.
have the whole cake. How's that?
Okay, then.
On
Well, it's
cam-
definitely not a real
on
cake.
camera.
No, he can't have it if
Yeah, I
he's
can. It's definitely not a
Yeah,
real
that's
cake.
true. Yeah, you can't.
And
have
even
none
if
of
it comes
yeah.
through, it's still a prop. I know it's a prop. Go on.
Here we go.
Why you?
It's the moment of truth.
It's still a prop. I know it's a prop.
Give him that. Give him
Just
that.
give him it
Yeah.
to celebrate.
What?
You don't believe it's real.
I don't
There you go,
believe it.
Ty.
There you
Oh my
go.
God, it is real.
Ty, you got to eat that slice on camera.
There you go.
Thank you. Well,
Is that
Are you
real?
going to apologise
Is that
now?
real?
Yeah, you have to say
I
sorry.
stand.
I want my apology. I want my
To be
apology.
fair, I remember you eating that pizza with a knife on that date that time.
Where's my apology?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
There you go.
I thought it was a prop.
As I
Thank you
said
very
to
much.
you,
Thank you.
the basis of the Talk is Cheap show, the viewers will tell you they've been watching for 2 years now. We keep it real, bro. But anyway, listen,
Lovely.
once again, man,
Thank you.
I just want to say, in rounding up the show, special thanks to my guest, Robbie,
man, big up.
the man who made all this possible, the man who gave me and Curtis the opportunity when we first had this idea 2 years ago. So
Big up,
listen,
Rob.
enough respect, man.
It's real because he ate all of it. Look.
Curtis, my man,
Hey,
Where's my
pleasure, bro. Pleasure.
and
Every
Ty,
week.
thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Where's
Yes,
my next
Tom.
slice? Where's my next slice?
You've dropped most of that one.
Thank you very much for inviting me on it, and congratulations on your 100th show.
Thank you
and
very much.
Here's to another 100.
That's what we want,
you
man.
go.
That's what we want. And thanks very much, last, certainly not least, to the people out there that's been supporting us over the last couple of years. You've been watching us since, October 2019, and we're still going strong now. Like Ty says, we want to go to that next 100. We want to try kind of different things, different guests. We're going to try and up the ante, man. You know what I mean? So thanks very much for sticking with us. Hope you're all healthy, wealthy, safe, COVID-free. Keep watching. See you next week. Take care. Thank you.
Peace.